finding who Stacey is, and then how you feel that has kind of shown itself in your business.
Sure. Well, this is my favorite stuff to talk about. Good. For sure. Not that I don't love real estate, but I feel like your root, your core of where you come from just produces everything else that you do. So that's really your essence, right? And so I lived a life for a long time a certain way. And most of it I think I was in survival mode. And I was performing and being who I was supposed to be for everyone else. So it was all external. So I showed up how I thought I was supposed to show up, and never how I thought who I was. So I did show up as me, but it was so much more about what everyone else was expecting and what everyone else's expectations were on me, that I lived in that space, right? So when I divorced, and then after that, there was some additional things that we went through that I keep very high level, because I live in such a different space around what that was and where I was.
Sure.
So we went through some really difficult times, my ex and I, in some difficult situations. And so by the end of around fall of 2019, I had pretty much lost everything. And I had to start over. And I got to a place where I just got on my knees and I said to God, or whatever your higher power is, so no judgment there either. I just call mine God. And I said, I'm the common denominator here. It's time to take a look at me. Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And so I got deep, and I got a coach, and I got into a community of transformation. And I think the biggest lesson in all of that, too, I want to note, is community, because we all think that we can do this by ourselves, and we can't. And I promise you, I'm a pretty freaking strong woman. And I realized that I had to have others around, that there was no way I could sustain what I was going to try to be without community. So I get into this space, and I start realizing all these things about myself, and all of these ways that you could think differently and be differently in your life. Like, wait, I'm allowed to love myself. I'm allowed to put me first. Wait, hold on a second. Even more than that, choosing me first actually makes it better for everyone else. Whoa. That took me a minute.
Because we don't think like that.
Nope. And it's just, we've been told so many lies about who we are, and we truly are. We already have it all within ourselves. So that's what I've learned in this transformation, is getting away from the external, because if you are dependent on everything external, then you're affected by all of that. So I was spouse-centered when I was married. So everything was about him and his career and what he was doing, right? And that's how I focused. And I thought that's what I was supposed to be and do as a good wife. And those were the things I was supposed to do. And what I realized was such a detriment to him, to me, to our marriage, to all of it. Because I wasn't being the full expression of me. And without the full expression of me, no one can be the full expression of themselves.
Yeah.
So, and I get a little emotional sometimes too, because some of it is so big, and it's so beautiful to have been able to start to understand these things and now be able to share them with other people.
Absolutely.
So as I've moved through this work, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this courageous, confident person, because I've stepped into it, and I've got my hands dirty and down deep and ugly, and wow, what were the choices I made?
Yeah.
With no judgment. Because everything I chose and everything I did to get me right here sitting with you had to happen. I had to choose those things, because I couldn't be this. So I no longer live in any victim. I no longer blame my ex-husband for anything. We created all of it together. I created all of those things to happen in order for me to be able to be here, so that I can be the realtor I'm being. I'm being the realtor I'm being because I don't live in survival mode, because I'm not worried about what everybody else thinks. I'm solidly being me and standing for them. I'm taking a stand for my client to say, when I'm able to bump up against them and say, you might not want this commute. I know you think this house is amazing, but that takes courage. A lot of agents would just sell it to them.